Infinity Castle gives us everything we've been waiting for: the spectacle, the emotion, the heartbreak. And then reminds us that this isn't the end and there are 2 more movies. Now we wait. Okay, look, having to wait this long for the next 2 movies is outrageous. But I just know it is going to be so worth it. Infinity Castle is visually everything you expect from DemonSlayer, but somehow better. Not only that, but the sound design, the music, the voice acting, all of it. Incredible. This movie is 2 hours and 35 minutes of the best parts of the anime, but also the bad parts. If you think there are bad parts, I'm not saying there aren't, we're gonna talk about it. Tanjiro and the other members of the DemonSlayer court find themselves in an epic battle at Infinity Castle. The film and the series up to this point really tackles the idea that true strength, comes from empathy, selflessness, and the connections you make with others rather than brute force. Without spoiling anything, I love the idea that victory is measured in humanity rather than immortality. It takes an extended look at power and, again, the strength that comes from love and connection. The demon's immortality, that endless existence, versus humans, the demon slayer's short lives. That contrast hits me in the feelings every single time. Now, this is the point in the episode where we're going to talk about triggers. I'm assuming we've all watched the anime at this point, but in case anyone hasn't seen the anime, I'll go over as much as I can. Infinity Castle contains violence and gore, lots of it, stabbing, slicing, decapitating, dismemberment, and blood. Lots and lots of blood. The demons do eat humans, but there is one scene in particular that I can see being upsetting. There are depictions of trauma, lots of trauma, tragic and abusive backstories, and the characters relive memories of lost loved ones, child abuse, grief, vengeance, and suicide. If you've seen the anime before, then it's just more of what we've been seeing, but if you're not as familiar with the series, please keep all of this in mind, and please do your own research if you feel like you need to, and make sure you're in a good headspace before watching. Alright, now let's talk about what worked. We already know the animation in this series goes crazy, but there are some visuals in this movie that are just mind-blowing. I had rewatched the entire series, I want to say 2 weeks leading up to the release of this movie, and I was still flabbergasted. The fight choreography is just, it's getting better. It's dynamic, eye-catching, and a major highlight. The Infinity Castle itself feels alive, and visually, it is impressive and stunning. Unreal. Truly infinite, and the way it's constantly shifting enhances the intensity, confusion, and the action. When it comes to me getting into my feelings, you know I cry a lot, and I was very surprised this time. I saw a little buzz online about 2 characters in particular, one I don't care about, and the other I just don't think I got enough time with. No, I'm not naming names because we are spoiler free here for now, but I thought, maybe this movie would surprise me and pull something out of me for at least one of these characters. Yeah, no. However, the film does an excellent job of navigating its highs and lows. It effectively explores themes of strength, perseverance, and sacrifice through these heartbreaking backstories, and I might have cried once. Moving on to the voice acting, I think if you're used to the anime, then you already know what to expect. The only thing I will say is that I kind of wish I watched this movie in English too, just for this review, but I have seen the English voice actors getting their flowers online since the movie's release. Finally, the sound design is fantastic. Like I said at the top of the episode, this movie is just more of the best parts of the show. The score is immersive, truly elevating every moment from the incredible battles to the quieter character moments. All right, let's talk about what didn't work, allegedly. You know what? We're going to stick to the usual. We're going to get into some criticisms about the movie and I'll share my thoughts, but I'm going to throw in the real issue this movie has at the end because some of these critiques, I don't know, you guys. First things first, everyone has a right to their own opinion and they have the right to express it online, but here's the thing. The problem with Infinity Castle is excessive flashbacks, the backstories are disruptive and reduce tension. This is something that we've been knowing about since season 1, so I am surprised that so many people complained about it. This is the formula. It's the same. Fight, flashback, recover, repeat. I think the real issue here, maybe, is this is all happening in one sitting. The movie is also pretty long. I rewatched the series and I was downing like 5 to 8 episodes at a time, so maybe. I think, here's the thing. Should this have been broken up into 3 seasons, maybe even 2, instead of 3 movies? Maybe. Having the Infinity Castle arc in episodes could have solved the pacing issue as well as helped with the backstories feeling like they're interrupting some of the major fights. It didn't bother me, but I can at least kind of see where these people are coming from. This next one, I was trying to be careful to avoid spoilers, and I do try my best to be spoiler free, but I have to be honest, I was starting to confuse myself with how much I was trying not to say. So here's your spoiler warning for DemonSlayer Infinity Castle, countdown in the corner of the video, timestamps below, all that good stuff. So, some viewers felt like Shinobu's death wasn't impactful enough, like she didn't get a proper send-off considering the emotional weight of her story. Earlier when I mentioned a character I didn't get enough time with, that's Shinobu. Do I feel indifferent to the way she died because I didn't feel connected to her character? Was it a little too late? Maybe, but in response to this idea that she didn't get a proper send-off, sure, I can see that, but I think this is going to come back in the next film when we really get to see Kanao go off. At least that's what I'm hoping will happen. I went back to the episodes because you guys, I really am trying to pronounce everyone's names correctly. And this was the plan all along, right? I mean, I think we're going to see Shinobu's kind of more of her story. Like, I hope it'll come back full circle. You know what I mean? I feel like her death wasn't the end. Like, Kanao is going to carry Shinobu forward, her story forward, or carry her with her the same way Shinobu carried Kanai with her. Or none of this is actually going to happen and I'm talking out of the side of my neck. We'll see when the next movie comes out. I was yapping a lot, so we're going to wrap this up. People said that there was an extended focus on Akasa's backstory, which is so true, and that they felt like it overhumanized him and it diluted the emotional impact of his actions. Earlier, when I mentioned a character that I don't care about, that's Akasa. Do I think it overhumanized him? No, because I don't care about him, full stop. I don't mind that his backstory went on for 50 years and a day, but I also don't like the guy. So that's why I feel the way I feel, or didn't feel the way I should have after an hour of watching his backstory. Getting out of the spoilers and kind of breezing through this last part, if you want to know what the real issue is with this movie, it was too short, and we have to wait years for the next one. Like I said, truthfully, I do not mind waiting, especially for incredible quality work. But the movie is so good, I need to know what happens next. And we love a long movie in this house. I would have happily been sat in my little Tanjiro cardigan for all 3 movies back to back to back. Let me have the 6 or 7 hour cut. Lastly, let's talk about accessibility. Infinity Castle is inaccessible to new audiences. This is 100% true. This movie is not where you want to start. Infinity Castle takes place after 4 seasons, or 4 seasons in a movie, and there are no recaps here. So if you haven't been keeping up, then you'll be completely lost. This is the part in the episode where we talk about what to watch, general thoughts on the franchise, and my top 5 favorite characters. For the sake of time, we're going to breeze through this entire section with little to no explanation. Watch order is a straight shot. Season 1, the Unwavering Resolve arc, which is 26 episodes. Season 2, the Mugen Train arc and the Entertainment District arc. You can either watch the Mugen Train arc as a movie, or you can watch 7 episodes, which I personally have not done. I can only cry so many times. And the Entertainment District arc, which is 11 episodes. So season 2 is 18 episodes total, or a movie and 11 episodes. Season 3, the Swordsmith Village arc, which is 11 episodes. And finally, season 4, the Hashira Training arc, which is 8 episodes. It is a lot, but it is so worth it if you haven't seen it yet. General thoughts on the franchise, I love it. I'm kind of picky with the anime I watch, so when I started watching this one during lockdown, I was instantly hooked. I love the characters, I love the animation, and the story keeps me guessing, which I absolutely love. We've been chit-chatting for a minute, and as always, I'm not sorry, you guys. I have nobody to talk to about anime like this, so if you've made it this far into the episode, thank you very much for sticking around. When I say it means a lot to me, I really mean it. I'm going to wrap this section up with my top 5 favorite characters with no explanation. Inosuke, Tanjiro, Rengoku, Gyu, and Muichiro. The Mist Hashira. Honorable mentions are Nezuko, and after this movie, Zenitsu, 100%. Alright, so is DemonSlayer Infinity Castle worth your time? If you're a fan of the anime, yes. Like I said at the top of the episode, this movie is the best parts of the anime and the not so good parts. The animation, stunning. The emotional storytelling, still fantastic. But if you're tired of the flashbacks and pacing issues, you're gonna get more of that too. Who's gonna like this movie? Fans of the anime, of course, Infinity Castle picks up right at the end of season 4, and it honestly does a great job of pushing certain characters forward, and we love to see it. If you love animation, emotional storytelling, and action, then you're gonna like this movie. But I wouldn't recommend it to anyone who hasn't watched this series yet. I mean, you can if you want, but you're gonna be missing out on a lot. So, who might not like this movie? People who are trying to jump in the deep end and start with this one first. I'm serious. Like, I'm joking, but I'm serious. Like, if you want to start here, go for it. But I'm serious. Also, if any of the critiques gel with you, like the pacing, the flashbacks are in the middle of intense fight scenes, so the movie could feel drawn out and slow. Additionally, anyone that prefers standalone films and that traditional movie plot, Infinity Castle is the first part of a trilogy, so if you're looking for more of a self-contained story, you might be disappointed. Overall, Infinity Castle is everything you love about DemonSlayer, gorgeous, emotional, and intense, but this is not the starting line. If you followed the series this far, then you need to watch this movie if you haven't already. Alright you guys, a huge thank you for hanging out with me to the end of the episode. If you enjoyed hearing my thoughts on Infinity Castle, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next video. Last time, I talked about 28 Years Later, and that movie really surprised me. I also talked about Shin Godzilla over on the podcast. That episode will be coming to YouTube at the end of this month. And I posted my thoughts on The Long Walk today as well. Check it all out. I'll leave links if you're watching on YouTube, and if you're hanging out with me on the podcast, all of those episodes are available now. And you already know, I want to hear from you. What did you think of Infinity Castle? Was it overhyped? I saw some of that chatter online too. I don't think so, but let me know what you think in the comments, and until next time, spread positivity, be safe, take care of yourself, and happy movie watching. I'll talk to you soon. Bye!